welcome to this week's edition of the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, joined once again by Jedi Jason Kruger. Got a big week in the world of wrestling to talk about, and by big, we had some unfortunate things, at least in terms of the well-being of some talent. But we also had some surprises and maybe some potential things that I've been looking forward to. But let's not get into that now. If you've never seen this show before, this is the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. Myself and Jedi have been wrestling fans for a long time. We've been talking about wrestling for, damn near 15 years at this point. We love wrestling, love talking about wrestling. We love discussing wrestling with you, the fans. We love discussing wrestling with other passionate wrestling fans. However, at the end of the day, we are not insiders. We are not part of the wrestling business. Our opinion holds as much weight as everyone else's out there because we're not insiders. We're not wrestlers. At the end of the day, we are just two marks. We try not to use insider terms. We slip up every now and again because they've been part of our vernacular for most of our life, it seems like. But at the end of the day, we're just two marks, and that's what we're all about here on this show. But on that note, let's go to Raw Thoughts. Alright, it is time for Raw Thoughts this week, and just get
Raw like Liv Morgan's face.
Ooh, I was just getting ready to say, let's get the elephant out of the room now and talk about the bad thing that happened. Poor Liv Morgan. that's unfortunate.
That looks rough.
Looked really rough, and I mean, so many other folks here on YouTube have expressed their opinion. Oh, was it a mistake? Is Brie unsafe? I mean, we're going to touch on this just because I feel it necessary, but we're not going to dwell on this because what more can we say that other people from Meltzer on down to us, everybody's commented on it, so like what more can the two marks add?
Right.
Really not much.
Right.
I feel bad for Liv. It's always terrible to see anybody, especially somebody who was really... I'm not going to say she was really going up because I really don't think she would be challenging Rousey, but she's somebody still with a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And was a very, very great part of the women's division, and with a little, help in the writing department could very much be a contender for the women's championship on Raw. I hate seeing her go down like that, but, a lot of people have been really kind of going after Brie. And while... I wasn't there, and of all the people that feel bad about this, there's probably nobody more than Brie that feels worse. Like, nobody feels worse than Brie right now, so it's not like...
To my understanding, Liv Morgan doesn't hold it against Brie, so...
there's so many people are thinking...
I'm hearing, so, you can if you want to, but, champion someone else's cause,
Yeah... you also got to think, and I know, you'd think that Brie, after all these years of experience, and I'm not coming down on her. I'm just kind of, I'm just speaking both sides of the argument. I'm not coming down on Brie at all. You'd think after all her years of experience, it wouldn't have happened. Shit happens. Accidents happen. Hell, look at Seth Rollins,
True, yeah.
And
right?
But...
Yeah.
it's just unfortunate, I feel like we had to at least bring it up, I said my best to Liv. I hope she gets better and she's back kicking some ass pretty soon.
Yeah,
but,
I was going to say at least, concussion, yes, but at least it's not something like a broken neck or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's been more.
You were watching. The concussions. You gotta watch that now. Especially with what they've learned about concussions. But
at least there's more chance coming back from that than something more gruesome. So,
yes. Exactly.
Heck, I saw a thing on the news about Joey Janela. He destroyed his knee.
That's some more we're starting out on a downer. That's really because I was.
Wrestling's not safe.
Yeah. I was just really getting into Joey Janela after seeing him at All In, and I feel like, probably, don't lynch mob me, but like before All In, I hadn't seen a whole hell of a lot of Joey Janela's work, but like that match was, crazy. Him and Hangman Page, and really, him and Chelsea Green, like, those are my two. Like, I gotta watch more of these guys. These guys are good. Guys, gal, whatever in Chelsea's case, but
dude, gender neutral. No.
I don't know. Is that really gender neutral? Is it?
I'm a dude. He's a dude. She's a dude.
We're all dudes. Hey. So hearing that about Joey Janela and hearing that he might be gone out for a long time. I saw him saying, like, he doing his like little vlog where he on Twitter where he's like, I tore this and I broke this and I'm just like
this.
Everything and he just keeps saying it. I'm just like, oh, poor guy. So it's just this isn't exactly raw thoughts, but it's just kind of while we're on it, it's just kind of where we're talking about the unfortunate injuries that have occurred in wrestling so far. But
they try to keep it as safe as they can, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're taking a risk every time you get in the ring. So
best wishes to Liv Morgan and Joey Janela right now, but maybe something that I've been clamoring for since he was signed in 2011 might be happening soon. Maybe. I'm not putting any eggs in that basket because, as you've heard me rant in past weeks, I don't have that kind of faith anymore.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
But
not many of us do anymore.
Ever since I heard way back in 2011 that Jon Moxley had been signed by the WWE, I was excited because I had just the year prior discovered Jon Moxley through interviews and stuff he would do on YouTube. Like, I'd seen a little, and the interviews is what got me to buy Dragon Gate USA and Evolve DVDs, where he was a featured talent.
Right.
But the way he would deliver the interviews, like, they say, like, you believed everything. You believed that Jon Moxley was a psychotic, drug addict, just this crazy person that you were legit afraid of. I legit thought that he, for somebody who read the internet and was, about as far up the internet and Ring of Honor and message boards asses at that time, that was me. For me to actually go, I think this is real, speaks to his talent.
Right.
So I find out that Jon Moxley gets signed by the WWE. He becomes Dean Ambrose. It looks like they're kind of I know they're going to scale it back a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Because he got to. I mean, like, I know wishing for exactly what I saw on the Indies is not going to happen. So
especially now.
you best leave them their dreams at the door. But they start teasing like he's going to do this storyline with Mick Foley, and that kind of gets shit canned because Mick Foley had to pull out, but like we were really teasing that direction. And then the Shield debuts, and like, holy shit, there's Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, there's Seth Rollins, Tyler Black, and there's some other guy. There's some other
Joe.
there's a guy, he big guy. Some might call him his dog. Therefore, he became a big dog. But anyway. And he was the crazy member, but I always wanted to just see Dean Ambrose. I mean, I know there's going to be a very, very like big line put on. Hey, you can't fucking go do this shit. But I'd like to see not funny, crazy Dean Ambrose, but terrifying. At least in WWE terms, terrifying Dean Ambrose. Happen, and in order to do that, they needed to turn him into a villain, and it was teased. I had all this build up to get to this point. They're teasing that he might turn on the Shield.
He's the only one without a championship right now,
and
it looks really sad.
Yeah. And, you know, I enjoyed him. You know, I was happy for him winning the title. I was happy for his run as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hardcore hoping with, you know, how he was getting reacted to at the time that they were going to use him at WrestleMania 32 instead of Roman, because obviously one was getting more cheers than the other, but you know,
right.
when he's getting booed out of the building, I shouldn't say getting booed out of the building, but when obviously more people want the villain in AJ Styles to be, you know that as a good guy, you've kind of, I'm not gonna say you flop, but you know, you're not going to be the top good guy, and sometimes when you're not going to be the top hero, you need to try the villain side. And I've been wanting to see villainous...
You may have heard of a guy named Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Worked good for him.
Yeah. Well, somebody needs it more than Dean, but and on that, but, you know, I'm not going to get the hammer out.
Yeah.
So, we might see... I really want this to happen. I'm begging for it to happen, you know. Can't one, do you think this will happen? And two, like, if they give it to us, will they at least give it to us WWE right? I know they're not going to go independent with it, but can they do villain Dean Ambrose in a way that can make at least some of us go, ooh? Or will he just be, I'm the bad guy now?
Don't know.
Clunk.
I mean, right now they're teasing that, like, at the moment, this weird kind of alliance of convenience, I would call it, with Strowman and Dolphin Ziggler.
Dolphin Ziggler.
That's right, Dolphin Ziggler.
Been a long night, folks. Been a long night.
Ziggler and McIntyre, I mean, they've kind of been a unit, basically, for months now, so it's a little easier to be like, oh yeah, well, they're a thing. But Strowman, it's more like, well, we allied because the Shield, and we need 3 people too. But they're the ones that are like, come to the dark side, you know. It'd be really weird if
let the hate flow through you.
It'd be really weird if he flopped to the dark side, so to speak, and allied with them, and it was all 4 of them. That would be really weird. And
that would kill this.
Yeah, if it did, I would hope that Strowman would just kind of forget he was part of that group and go off, and Dean would quickly cement himself as either the leader that just scared the other 2, and they're like, my God, what have we done? Or would just go off on his own and basically, tell them to F themselves too, you know? I mean,
there's no real...
Like, it won't be good if he just becomes part of their group.
Yeah, no.
That'd be awful.
No.
That'd be awful. Not that.
Right. I mean, it's... I'll give them credit in the sense that, you know, hey, I've been wanting this for a long time, and, you know, they got the carrot.
They're dangling the carrot, yeah.
They're dangling the carrot. But on the flip side, they've not even dangled the carrot. They've just thrown rotten carrots at me for so long.
Oh, yeah.
Again, not trying to be the cynical... trying to be the cynical WWE or wrestling fan that's mad at the WWE, but I guess they've turned me into the cynical wrestling fan that's mad at the WWE.
In defense of everything cynical, in January there was a thing called the Royal Rumble, and Nakamura and Asuka won those Royal Rumbles.
Now Nakamura, it led to him turning into a villain, which has been great. Now, whether or not we didn't get Wrestle Kingdom 10 at WrestleMania, so that was disappointing. But at least I can look back at Nakamura's Royal Rumble win and go, you know, yeah, but I got this.
That's true.
You know,
But then after that,
but Asuka no.
Too long with the.
But Asuka no.
Thing.
But
yeah,
you know,
Asuka,
Nakamura I compared to, it's like, I'm gonna throw a sports reference out there. Like, I'm a Notre Dame fan, you know. And one year, you know, they had a 500 season, you know, leaving the regular season, and you know, I'm like, you know, and they lost, you know, a couple big games, you know, that they should have won. But then in the end, they ended up going to the Hawaii Bowl, and they hadn't won a bowl game in forever. And if they not have lost one other game, they wouldn't have made it to this bowl game to win, which would have got a big monkey off their back, as far as not being able to win in the postseason. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things like, yeah, I don't look at the season where they went 6-6, the regular season, with much fondness, because I'm like, all these losses sucked. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, well, but it did lead to this nice postseason win on Christmas Day, so I at least kind of look back like, well, I can get a small smile when I think of it, even though it was pretty shitty. That's kind of how I feel about Nakamura. Like, we didn't get the greatest match of all time that we thought we were going to get at WrestleMania, but we did get Shinsuke as a villain, which has been one of the most entertaining and best things in the WWE all year. And, yeah. So, sometimes there's a little sprinkle that can help. I don't feel like there's going to be a sprinkle with this. I feel like you're either going to have to kind of go balls to the wall with this. May not balls to the wall to where he's talking about waking up in puddles of his own vomit and making an and making himself look like he's kind of uncomfortably, trying to do something to the female reporters, but at least kind of letting him open up just a little bit, within the WWE standards and practices, because just a little bit of John Moxley and Dean Ambrose can mean a whole lot of... It can be horrifying for the clean WWE and it would still be very good. Era? Yeah.
I mean, this isn't the Katie Vick era.
It could be similar to like when the Wyatt family debuted and you're like, oh, this is creepy, this is good. You can kind of get that. But if they don't do things just right, it's going to be just one more thing. We're going, hey, welcome to the show. Hey, fuck this shit up. So,
yeah.
I guess, I'm not going to say I'm optimistic.
I hope they do it right, because this whole Braun as a villain thing is not going to work.
I'm not going to say I'm cautiously optimistic, because that's a lie. I'm not optimistic. I'm just saying I have my fingers crossed, and I really hope they don't fuck this up.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things that could go right. So, yeah.
Well,
that's probably your biggest story on Raw right there, besides, injuries and all that kind of stuff. So,
yep.
It's all that stuck with me.
Yep. All right, time for SmackDown thoughts, and we'll just get this one out of the way because the rest of the things on SmackDown are really more important. But I really, really enjoyed this, and I'm sad that R-Truth lost to The Miz. So, Truth TV is over. The best in-ring segment ever, except for Piper's Pit. That was actually really entertaining. I was totally wishing they'd have that, He's got Carmella, who he felt like he needed to beat, but I guess they joined forces. And, dance breaks, and it was great, and I loved it, and it's dead. They killed my dreams immediately, but at least they killed them immediately to where I didn't get attached.
So immediately after the show, they had the mixed match challenge, and it was Truth and Carmella versus Miz and Asuka. So they totally played that up again. He got him to all chant, Truth TV, and then Miz tried to chant it, and they just booed him, and Miz TV, all that.
It looks like I need
to be... At one point, he got mad at Carmella. It was like, you do the moonwalk, I do a better moonwalk, and then he did an actual moonwalk.
Looks like I need to be watching the Mixed Match Challenge, but, if I can't...
It's entertaining.
If I can't watch... If I don't have time for the Mae Young Classic...
Right.
But still...
yeah. It's a little bit of a pain the way they do it on the Facebook. You kind of, gotta jump to where the match is, because they do a bunch of pre-match stuff. And
I was watching on the network then.
Okay. Yeah, it's on there.
But, we now bow our heads for... the end of TV. Alright, that's enough. So, Mojo went to the Styles household, which I like how it said Styles, even though that's obviously not his name. Like, they've said it on the network. It's not really his name, not his family's name. They broke the fourth wall there.
Guess it wouldn't have the same impact.
I don't know how I feel about this. On one hand, I like the fact that at least they feel trying to put myself in the mind of Vince McMahon, that he sees Joe and AJ as talented enough to I can trust them doing more than just this wrestling stuff. They can go beyond wrestling,
right.
you know. And I have no idea why Vince McMahon sounds like Rush Limbaugh. I apologize for this. God damn, pal, they can do more than just wrestling. That's better. But on the flip side, it's kind of like, are we gonna look back at this and go like, did they need this?
Right.
You know, like they did more than just wrestling with Shinsuke and AJ. You know, with Shinsuke's, you know, villainous turn. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I
but
don't.
at the same time, that was just really contained to.
If this leads to AJ's family like turning on him, and
Oh.
like AJ's family like becoming villains on the show, like then I'm gonna go like, okay, I'm gonna kind of raise
It's
my
gonna
hand.
kill it for me, and I'm such a big Joe fan, so it really.
Yeah, like if that were to happen, I'm not okay. I mean, like,
don't ruin a good thing.
I don't think. And
No,
again, I don't know AJ's wife, but she's like a real life school teacher, so I don't really think she's got the acting chops.
No.
I don't think she's going to turn into Vicky and become like one of the great villainesses in wrestling history.
Talk about a thing that no one saw coming.
Yeah.
Happened.
I don't see, with all due respect to AJ's wife,
Yeah. No.
I don't see that happening that way.
No.
So, but
Yeah.
it's kind of
no.
no. So just kind of leave it at this. And you're kind of at your good level to where, you know, okay, you can stop now.
I don't think we can escalate this much further, so
No.
they're going to have to, do their match and move on somehow. Joe either wins or Styles retains and Joe moves on to something else, because
But on the flip side of all this, there's something else going on that I didn't think was going to be good, and it actually, at least the segment, turned out to be really, really good. And that was Rusev and Lana calling out Aiden English for his betrayal. Betraying them on Rusev Day, of all things! And it was just really, you know, the segment was really good. You know, I thought that Aiden did a good job talking. Rusev did a good job. He ends up blaming Lana, claiming they had a night in Milwaukee. So you have a little...
That's not what he said. He didn't say they had a night in Milwaukee.
I remember the one night in Milwaukee.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't say it wasn't necessarily him. I don't know. We don't know. It might have been, but he didn't word it that way. So
yeah, exactly. Well, there's something
he just said, "Were you honest with your husband about that?"
There's something I didn't even see that you saw. I was there expecting this to just be like some force-fed, okay, here's some extra drama because we need to justify a split up of Rusev Day somehow. And fair play to everybody. They all did their roles really well. I mean, here is something that I'm cautiously optimistic about. It'd be full-on optimism, but, you know, WWE. I think this has the potential to be a really, really good storyline that,
not a couple well-placed lines. It became very intriguing and not just,
I'm looking forward to see where more than anything else on SmackDown now, like, that's what I'm looking forward to, is this. So good job to everybody involved. Hopefully when this is over, this leads to maybe a return to the main event for Rusev and maybe more respect for Aiden English.
Yeah.
If it can bump Aiden to a U.S. title contender and perhaps maybe get Rusev back to where potentially he doesn't have to win it, but he could conceivably win the WWE Championship again, I'm all for that.
Right.
You know, if he doesn't, then whatever.
It was a pretty enjoyable one-off when he fought AJ a few months before it.
Which leads another debate of, as much as we like seeing these guys that are entertaining, you know, sometimes it's nice to see one not get it. You know, going back to R-Truth, I thought it was cool back in 2011 that he didn't get it.
Right.
You know, as much as I love R-Truth, I loved him as Ron Killings in TNA, it was kind of cool to see, like, okay, they're not just good at, you know, there still are certain people that aren't going to get the world title, and there's people that need to get it, like your AJs, like your Strowmans.
Right.
But maybe there's certain people that unless he gets even more white hot, maybe Rusev shouldn't get it. But on the flip side of it, you're not going to see me going, oh, if they give Rusev, oh, fucking Rusev, well, that's why the belts me. That's why belts in WWE mean nothing because they got fucking Rusev with it. It's like, no, if they give Rusev the belt, I'll be like, fuck yeah, Rusev, you know?
No, it's not Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah,
I thought that was one of the better segments I've seen on at least the main roster in quite some time. I'm not not counting NXT and all this, but at least on the main roster, it was one of the better segments. So, hats off.
I think someone said that both Aiden English and Becky Lynch took acting classes, so it might explain why their delivery is better.
Well.
Possible tip for anybody looking to actually break in the business.
You mentioned Becky Lynch, and shout out to Artie Reynolds and Blade Braxton over at WrestleCrap. Speaking of Becky Lynch, really thought what they did with her attacking Charlotte in the during Charlotte's photo shoot was that was awesome. I love that segment. Becky stole the show last week, and nothing against Becky. The Rusev segment's kind of what stole it this week. Still thought that whole beat down and everything and her posing during the photo shoot was really, really cool. But what did it for me and what really just sealed, I'm just like, fuck yes, Becky Lynch, was on Twitter. She, and I retweeted it, so just go follow me on Twitter at athletic_geek89 and you'll see it more accurately, so sorry for me not knowing it exactly right now. And something like,
you know you do.
Yeah, you want to see it anyway. I can't do it justice. She retweeted the picture of her standing over Charlotte's body and said I wish Charlotte could see me as champion, but then I realized she's under my foot, right there under my foot, or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, fuck yeah, Becky Lynch is fucking awesome. She's really coming into her own. Mm-hmm. You're seeing all the talent that she has. But on the flip side, it's she's being villainous, but she's not going to get booed. Right. Because everything she has done has been justified.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. More justifiable than the Shield just reuniting to keep a man from being able to, do something he earned the right to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
Yep. A study in contradictions.
Yeah. No, she actually literally, won the match to do something oh fuck yeah, we're just gonna put her in here instead because, she's cool,
But that's not the story you were told.
Yeah. So, SmackDown was very overall, there's a lot more stuff we're forgetting from SmackDown,
Miz and Bryan,
they're still continuing.
That was decent.
Yeah, they're continuing their story, which I wish they wouldn't, but... It's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but I like the
Ty Dillinger, Randy Orton.
Oh yeah, Orton going all
crazy
maniac on Ty Dillinger. Not his next victim though. He was just bored that week and got pissed off at the number 10, so he was.
Yeah, still not really.
So they asked him, "Is is that your next victim?" He's like, "No." I just couldn't stand the guy in his number 10 thing, so I beat him up.
Yeah, so man.
Because I do that,
Yeah.
A beatdown out of nowhere.
I enjoyed Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell, but that still doesn't change my opinion. That still doesn't make me any less over Orton. It just makes me be able to say when he does something I enjoy, hey, I'm not so jadedly over Randy Orton that I won't give credit and just whatever.
He's just scared of the screwdriver.
Yeah. Well,
we all are after that.
I've got a hammer. And ask him about how scary the hammer can be. But yeah, Rusev Day explodes, and really good segment with Aiden and Rusev, and Becky Lynch is fucking awesome. And if you haven't realized that by now, then I guess you just
don't watch the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah. I guess you just aren't too bright. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that in jest, but you get what I mean, because fucking Becky Lynch is awesome. But, yep. And now I'm going to toss it over to Jedi here for his moment with the recap of the Mae Young... I can't talk. The Mae Young Classic. And yes, that's staying in. Time for Jedi. Sorry I interrupted you there.
No, you're all right.
Shitting on your moment. I'm like Charlotte.
Oh. Well, no beatdowns today. I'm too tired for that. So, all right, so I'll stick with the same format. I don't have a lot to say about these matches more than the result, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of blast through them real quick and then do the result after. But you're running out of time because after this second round, so I'm probably going to just quit that because you're going to know it's going to be process.
Spoilers are implied with this.
I mean, it kind of
in the title, it is a recap show,
It's
so
true.
spoilers are kind of implied.
fact,
We're going to be nice, but they are implied.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say all the matches this week. I may just go ahead and go through them and go ahead and give spoilers, but I'll just give a real recap. There wasn't anything bad. Once again, it was all solid. First match was an exhibition match. I didn't feel like the two that were in there, they didn't grab me. I mean, they had an okay match. There's nothing wrong with it, but there wasn't a lot of chemistry there, I don't feel like. There wasn't a lot of flow. It was just kind of there. They were just kind of, I don't know. So, but it wasn't anything wrong with it. It's just there. Second and third match were pretty solid. And then the fourth match, I definitely recommend watching. I'm just going to go ahead and go through these and just give the winners as I go. So
You've been warned.
Yep. So the spoilers are coming. Rachel Evers returned from last year, the daughter of Paul Ellering. Last year, she lost in the first round. I believe she fought last year, Kairi Sane in the first round. I think that was her, I believe. So she, lost to, So anyway, she came back this year, basically said, I just need to be more focused and I can win this thing. She fought against Hiroyu Matsumoto, who calls herself the female Godzilla. Japanese wrestler. She's just a character. She's very much, I'm going to win this thing and destroy everybody and rawr. But it was kind of weirdly adorable. I don't know. It was trying to be scary and adorable, but surprisingly, Rachel Evers lost again in the first round this year. I was very surprised. I was like, wow, really? Because no one who's come back has lost in the first round.
And I was just getting ready to say, like, hey, maybe like she'll go to the finals and then, because now that Authors of Pain don't have Paul with them anymore, maybe she'll bring her dad.
Yeah.
But no, okay, wow.
No,
well then.
It was back and forth, and there was one point where she fought like crazy to not get hit by this, side suplex, and the way she fought out, I thought, oh, well, that move would be a finish then probably. That would be a way to beat someone. Like, that's apparently a move that has put people away before. The way she was fighting, like her life depended on it when she almost got hit by it. And then later on after a powerbomb, she got hit by it. And I was like, oh, she's done, isn't she? And yeah, she was. I was like, wow, well, all right then. So yeah, that was a surprise. If you like surprises, sorry I just ruined it for you, but still you
there
can
is no surprise now.
I mean. Second match was Isla Dawn, which is apparently a Scottish woman that's into the craft, which is interesting because the term she was using, witchcraft, like old school, maybe I can't even think, Wiccan or whatever, but possibly. I mean, she didn't use the word Wiccan, but it was very much, she was throwing out terms like the goddess and stuff. It was like, oh, this chick knows her stuff. So either it's a really good character or she's into the craft and happens to be a wrestler as well. They mentioned on commentary
that wouldn't surprise me.
They mentioned on commentary she was actually an actress and did a movie that happened to be about pro wrestling or whatever, had pro wrestling in it, and met actual pro wrestlers there, and then decided, oh no, this is what I want to do. This is what I was going to do.
Oh, good for her.
That was interesting.
Yes.
Scottish, very much, one of those, when she does a forearm, it looks like it hurt your face. As I appreciate from them over in Europe. And she fought Nicole Matthews, who has been on the indie circuit for like 12 years. And then I heard the name, I was like, I remember her from Shimmer. So, I mean, she's been around the block. And she basically said in her interview, I've been doing this for years on the indie circuit, and now I'm doing it here to show you people why I'm the best, Basically, you will respect me, but with just enough attitude to be like, "Boo," you know. So that was a pretty solid contest. Nicole Matthews did end up winning it, but they beat each other up pretty good for a little bit there, and it was good back and forth. And in the end, she just basically beat her. She had the experience edge, I think, slightly. And now the next one was interesting. Tainara Conti, she was in it last year. She came back again. She was she's in NXT. I'm not sure if she's featured on TV, but she is in NXT, and she's training with the Performance Center. Last year, I think she came in, like, literally signed and then went right into the tournament. She's from, I believe, Brazil, and she's like I believe it's jiu-jitsu. She's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Or judo. I think it's jiu-jitsu, though. Judo, jiu-jitsu stuff. Anyway, last year, she was all right. I think she went up against Shayna Baszler or something like that and just got tore up. But this year she definitely... Yeah,
I almost everybody gets Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, she basically said, I've improved a lot, and this year I'm going to show people while I'm... Oh, text.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good text tone.
Yeah, don't be jealous. So, anyway, she came back and was like, I'm going to show people why I'm a black belt this year. I've improved, blah, blah, blah. She was fighting against a girl named Jessie Eliban. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, this chick was interesting. She came right out and said, I don't really have a style. She's like, I just kind of throw my body at my opponent and see what happens. It reminded me of someone that we know when he played football. That was his idea too, because he was so much smaller than half the people out there. He just kind of threw himself.
You had to beware of that boy. You had to beware of that boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Scooting along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
there's going to be maybe 12 people that get that reference, and those 12 people are going to be happy we put it in here.
So, but she was just a ball of energy and very bubbly. I mean, it was very clear in the match. It's like, oh, you really don't have a lot of technique, do you? But you're here and you're ready to go. And she had some really high kicks, and she was clearly stronger than Tainara Conti, but no technique. So Conti was grounding her a lot.
Right.
And making her look like a sucker. I mean, she got in some good... One time she overpowered her completely. She, like, slipped up and she overpowered her into a roll-up and got in some good kicks, but Conti just took her to school and in the end just beat her. I mean, it was one of those, nope, you're not gonna... You're adorable and people are gonna cheer for you because of your energy. And Conti was obviously acting, like, very snooty, you know. I'm all that. But she destroyed her in the end. I mean, it was a little competitive, but in the end she didn't stand a chance, so... and then the last match of the first round, so next week will be the second round. Io Shirai. Io Shirai, I'd heard about her. I guess last year she was supposed to be in it, and she had a neck injury. She apparently, Stardom, a promotion that's an all-female promotion in Japan, she was their top person. It was her, somebody else, and Kairi Sane were like the top three. And she was like the top of the top. She even said it in her promo. She's like, basically, you know, as far as females go, I was the best in Japan. She's like, if I just do in this tournament what I did over there, I'm going to win. You know?
Yeah.
And not in a snooty way, just kind of in a matter-of-fact way.
Right.
She also said her goal, her whole life has basically been to show that women's wrestling is equal with men's wrestling, not below it, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a pretty cool pre-match interview with her. She fought the most adorable little unicorn.
Oh. And, you know, unfortunately, I think we all know where this is going.
Zia Brookside, who is apparently a second-generation wrestler. Her dad...
Robbie Brookside?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Right. Trainer at the Performance Center, legendary British wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho has a lot of good things to say about Robbie Brookside. So if you've never seen Robbie Brookside matches, go make sure to find some. He's awesome.
So she is only 19. And she's, you know, saying basically I want to break out of his shadow and do my own thing, but, you know, I'm more pressure on me because I'm second generation, all that. The reason I call her a unicorn, they actually referred to her as a human unicorn. I think that's kind of her thing. She has like cotton candy blue and pink hair, which my wife informed me is called unicorn color or something like that. And I was like, okay, so we're going with unicorn. It was an adorable little unicorn. She was 19 and she had no business being in the ring
Ooh.
with Io Shirai. Like,
And you feel bad because she's Robbie Brookside's daughter.
I
but-
felt really bad for her. I mean, she knew going in. She bowed really low. She knew who she was in there with, and it didn't take long. Io Shirai, like, I have never seen such a beautiful. I mean, I guess this could be considered an insider term, but squash match, a slaughter, a murder. Like,
Yeah.
but it was beautiful. Like, I mean, Io Shirai didn't even break a sweat. At the end of the match, you could literally tell she had not broke a sweat. She was grinning the whole match. She just murdered her. And then afterward was like, "You okay? You're all right. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
You're okay." And picked her up, you know, basically. She literally picked her up. She was like laying there. She's like, "Come on, stand up. It'll be okay." Yeah, it was a thing of beauty to watch. I mean, you see, it was pretty clear that the hype was
very real.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, oh, wow,
I
you're on
want to watch
another
it now.
level.
Like, I mean, I hate to be spoiled, but I want to watch this.
Right. I mean, it was pretty clear, even from a lot of the other people in the tournament. It's like, oh, you're kind of on another level than a lot of these people, aren't you? So, my wife already pegged her to win the whole thing.
I was just getting ready to say,
Yeah.
like, would you call her the favorite now?
Yes. I mean, like I said, my wife's not really a wrestling fan, but she watched all the matches so far, and she's like, oh, she's going to win. It's like, there's no way. It's like, so, anyway, yeah, but I would watch it. It was pretty short. She pretty well just slaughtered her.
Watch it on your coffee break. Watch it on your lunch break. I might. Excuse me.
But yeah, worth checking out because it's just a thing of beauty. I mean, it's not often that you see like a complete murder that's just beautiful to watch.
An actual murder, definitely not.
Definitely
but,
not. No, it probably
a murder of a
no,
wrestling
but,
match, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely hurting afterwards. I'll tell you that.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, that is.
And
Thank you.
that's that. So
Thank you
go
for
check
that.
it out.
Yeah.
You know, there's some stuff to check out, and the next round will be even better because I mean, there was nothing wrong in the first round, and it's just gonna get better
It's
from
gonna
here.
keep getting-
So.
Well,
Yep.
that is.
And check out Mixed Match Challenge if you're bored.
Yeah,
it's kind of
'cause,
entertaining. There's
Yeah, he showed me some clips, and it's just like, wow, why have I not been watching this? This is awesome.
It's not what you're used to. The announcers talk, but not as much, and you get more actual interaction, more like organic interaction.
Yeah,
I would
like
say.
it's almost an independent
Mhm,
show.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's how they did it in the first season of it, but
Somewhat, but I
Right.
don't know. It's more entertaining.
didn't really get to watch it. I know there are people like, what kind of person wrestling fan are you? You're not watching it, but.
You could tell I kind of go for the novelty stuff. Plus, it's on Facebook. Which I'm on
I followed the
constantly,
G1 almost for everything,
Yeah.
but like I'm sometimes just.
hardcore, wacky, casual.
Oh, I like wacky. I'm a Chikara guy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I watch BTE. Watch Being the Elite. That is it for us this week. Thank you for watching. If you would like to see more content, please go like my Facebook page at facebook.com/athleticgeek89. Not just pro wrestling news, but stuff from the world of comic books, anime, everything geek culture, gaming. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, give it a share. If you want to see other videos, please check them out and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like to see new ones like it.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter. I'm
right.
semi-active on Twitter. I don't really go to Twitter very much, but
But he did
at-
just retweet.
yeah,
Becky
at
Lynch.
Athletic Geek or Athletic_Geek89. That's why I'm not as active on there because I had to change my handle up a little bit. And for Jedi, well, you just got to comment down here because he ain't got personal social media because he's got a wife, he's got kids, and he ain't got time for all that shit.
Yeah.
But
All you'd ever see is pictures of my kids.
and we're not going to really probably be doing that.
Nah.
No. It's not for everybody. But for J. Jason Kruger, I am the Athletic Geek. We are just two marks. We're out. See you next week.